Hey, welcome back, everyone. Rip City Real Talk, end of the year edition. We have Christmas, we have New Year's, and we're right in between in the weird dead days where most people don't put up their decorations anymore for some reason. Here at Craig Moshkow, myself, Anthony Blaylock, who didn't apparently put their last name on the thing, but you know who I am by now. I'm sure you're all super loyal fans. Yeah, man, we waited a little longer this time because of the Nets postponement. COVID is wreaking havoc everywhere, so the Nets got postponed. We didn't want to do one recap show on one game, so we decided to push this out. Today is Tuesday. We wanted to wait till last night's Mavs game, but we're here. We're back. We don't have too much this week. We're actually gonna have a little more fun than we probably have. So yeah, I'll start off, man. How was Christmas?
Oh, it was so great. I have two little ones at home, and it's a lot more fun for them than it is for me. You got them this really cool art easel thing, which I ended
Yeah.
up spending an hour and a half putting together, which is great. As a dad on Christmas, nobody likes to do anything more than put stuff together, so that was fantastic. But they loved it.
I tried to find the thing that had the most put togetherness that I could afford.
Went to IKEA and just immediately bought the most intricate piece of
Mhm.
furniture you could find. So I
Yeah.
appreciate that. But
It was that or a really expensive McDonald's Playlands, but they couldn't ship it in time. So
So that's what I did. I watch Harry Potter. That's our Christmas kind of tradition every year. We watch the Harry Potter series. We end up watching six of the eight on the first day, and then we have to finish them the second day. And by the third movie, Autumn, my daughter is just like so sick of watching them. But yeah, it was great, man.
that's
Everything was good. We got
that's
snow
not
here.
cool.
So what about you?
Yeah, I didn't get snow. I'm out down in Arizona for Christmas, spending time with the family down here. So I saw that everybody up there has been posting all their pictures of the snow. The winter tundra is there, and I come down here and guess what I get? Not sun, but tons of rain and clouds. It's like I never left Portland. In fact, the plane
The
was coming through. I woke up
worst.
from my nap. I woke up, I slept on the plane, and I look out the window and it's cloudy and raining. I thought the plane turned around when I was sleeping. I thought I pulled a Yui. It's like couldn't go. Something happened. So
That's
we're
the
in Phoenix now.
worst.
That's what the captain said. So that's been good. It's been relaxing. Just been hanging out here, spending time with them. Like I said, been playing a lot of Mario Golf. That's the thing. Getting good at the old Mario Golf. I can't
On
golf in real life,
Switch.
so on the Switch. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fun. I love Mario Golf.
Um, it's too bad to hear about Autumn not enjoying the Harry Potter. Do you have a favorite Harry Potter?
I like Half Blood Prince, which is the sixth one for myself. That's my favorite one. What about you?
Four for sure. Four.
Goblet of Fire.
Yeah, in fact, I think six is my least favorite. That's the one with the stupid little love story in it. Like they're like, "Hey, Twilight's popular. Let's make Ron get a girlfriend and play it up too much."
Yeah, that was definitely not the best storyline, but had to add that in there. There's a lot of cool stuff. I don't know. I just think seven and eight are too heavy for me. So it's like the last year of school is fun to watch, but I get why
That's
you like four.
four to get dragons and mer people and all that cool stuff.
Mm,
Can't
that
beat
is
it.
pretty cool. You're
You
right.
got
That's the best
you got
magic.
Team Edward.
I forgot he was in it until we watched it this year.
Yeah, the Batman. No, that's great, man. I'm glad you had a light family. I'm glad. Did they use the easel?
Oh yeah, they use the heck out of it. I have a bunch of pictures on my phone. I'll actually send you some, but there's a dry erase on one side and then a chalkboard on the other, and they use both. And Autumn is a teacher, so she likes to have everybody in the house be her classroom. So it's been great. I've been sitting on the floor a lot watching her write nefarious things on
Legit.
the chalkboard.
That's awesome. Well, you got to do something to keep your time occupied because we
Yeah.
didn't have a lot of Blazers. Not a lot of Blazers during this stretch. We had the game right before Christmas against the Pelicans, and then we obviously just had the Mavs this week. That was last night, as I already
hmm
mentioned. So we'll start with the Pelicans. Huh? Let's get into some Blazers talk. People don't want to listen to us talk about Christmas all day. I could, but they don't want to
Could.
listen to it.
Yeah. So that Pelicans game was on the 21st. Gosh, Covington and Anthony Simons, I just have kind of like a meh. Like they each played like 31 minutes or something, and neither one contributed a whole lot statistically. Herb Jones was really good in that game. I don't know if you know who Herb Jones is. He's a really good defender for the Pelicans. He's been stepping up this year. He's a young guy, but oh my gosh, he was really fun to watch in that game.
Yeah, and same with Hart.
hmm
Hart, he's not known as a scorer necessarily. He does a little bit of everything. If you look at his stats, he's one of the best rebounding guards in the league. He
Yeah,
does a lot of playmaking as well. He's got really good assist numbers, and he went off for 20
he
against
got
us.
20. hmm
Yeah, I know most of it, if you watch a lot of it, is at the rim. There wasn't a lot of shooting by him. He just scored a ton around the rim.
Yep.
And then I don't think I can say his name.
Nikhil Alexander Walker.
Is it Nikhil?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I always want to say something weird, call him Nickel or something. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he was a stud off the bench. 27 points, obviously. I think he had his career high in threes because everybody gets their career high in threes in Portland these days. So obviously a lot of firepower there. There was just they were the third worst team in the entire league coming into this game, and we were outside of CJ. I mean,
healthy.
essentially fully stocked, fully healthy here, and this is one you gotta get. I mean, I know that COVID's been going through and teams are all over the place right now with stars being out. You didn't have that excuse. Dame put up 39 points. You can see it right there in the box score. He did everything possible, but he just got gassed at the end of it. And it seems like we're getting back into the Dame's going to have to save us thing. He's like, he rested for a week and got the cortisone shot. And now all of a sudden he's out here trying to play hero ball and he has no support.
Mm-hmm. And you're right about the Dame Hero Ball thing. The other thing is this team is not good enough defensively to hold teams in those key possessions at the end of games. That's the thing about 2018, 19, 20 Blazers. They would come up with clutch stops. This team has not been able to do that, or they haven't been close enough to come up with clutch stops to stay in games in the fourth quarter. We've been getting blown out a lot the last few weeks. So, I mean, Dame heroics, it's great that Dame is back and healthy. And like you said, the cortisone shot is helping, but my dude can't save a team that's already sunk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and historically, even under the Stotts era, we've at least had the offense to be able to make up for some miscues. Right now, I mean, Dame's putting up 40. I don't know what else you want from him. Nobody else is there to step up. It's a lot of ISO ball again. The Pelicans, you can't do that. When you give up 52% from the field, and a lot of that's in the paint. I mean, Willie Gomez, I mean, the dude had like 13 points. That's unacceptable. A lot of pick and roll. It was too easy. They did whatever they wanted. Then you start to adjust and slow them down at the rim, and then Alexander Walker's over here hitting 6 threes. I don't know.
And my complaint is, so you gave up three guys got 20-plus points on you, and two of them don't ever score 20-plus points. Like you said, Nikhil Alexander Walker, that's a career high for him or whatever it is. But the other thing that you're looking at here, at least under Stotts, this team would not give up a lot of points in the paint, and it was a perimeter defense that was the issue. Both defenses are an issue right now. We can't stop anybody from the perimeter. They're getting career highs in threes. They're shooting career high percentages in threes against us. The other thing is there's wide open dunks. And like you said, Josh Hart is attacking the rim like he's LeBron or something. It's like there's nothing to pester these guys or stop them. There's no rim protection on this team whatsoever.
No, and we have arguably, well, not arguably, I mean, you can't argue against it. We have a much better defensive roster. I mean, you consider that Nance and Rocco's on the bench now. Nance is playing backup center and, small forward or power forward, I should say, for us. I think that you get more length when you have little on the court. I mean, there's really not an excuse. This isn't Cantor and Carmelo out there. This, this is, I mean, Norman Powell's integrated into the system. I mean, he's integrated into the team now. He doesn't have half a season. He has a whole off season under his belt. And there's no excuse for not being able to slow them down. I have a question for you, especially in this game. I have a question for you. What does Tony Schnell do?
Yeah,
for you,
so
for your team?
So I think I told you in the offseason, he's like a really poor man's Rocco, right? He's going to play good defense. He's going to shoot threes, and that's it. That's all he's going to do. Now, he's played a few times the last month. He's played like 18, 20, 22 minutes, and he's given you like a 1 rebound and 0 everything else. It's actually astonishing how little he can do in minutes. And if you watch when he's out there, he's doing nothing for you offensively. He's actually just standing in the corner, and it's kind of a killer. I think having him and Rocco, you can't play either one of them. You know what I mean? Like he can fill in for Rocco and play that role, but you can't have both of them on the floor. It's just Tony Snell has been a pretty big negative, I think.
He's had some fun plays, very rarely, sporadically.
A few corner threes.
He played 18 minutes. He had 0 points and 3 rebounds.
It's killer. He can't attack the basket or do anything, but he is okay on defense. I mean, when you watch him, he's all right. He holds up okay against like fours when he plays defense against them. I don't know.
I'm just curious because right now Powell got 16 points in this game. Simon's got 2 points. He was 1 of 9 in 31 minutes. I just don't know where you can generate any other offense with CJ being hurt.
Yeah, he has a 7-foot wingspan, which is like one of the things that was kind of a big draft deal for him. Is he's supposed to be this really long, athletic defender? I just don't think he has the
Oh, so
lateral, the
he's Derrick
movement.
Jones Jr. I see.
You know what? That's not actually the worst comp. He doesn't have the athleticism that Derrick Jones Jr. has, but I think that you're starting to find that he's going to play less and less and less as this team gets healthy, which may never happen. I'm not even sure. That might be a mirage at this point.
Yeah, healthy. What is healthy anymore?
Yeah, but
I don't know. So the Pelicans, that's an embarrassing one. I mean, they're the third worst team in the entire league, and
yes,
you lose to them relatively healthy, and
Mhm.
you lost 111. I think 97 was the final score. That's not even close. That's not even a close game at the end. I expect Brandon Ingram to do good things. He's one of those guys that I hope you make a trade for. I trade
Yes.
CJ for him right now.
He had
I hope
28, 8, and 8. I thought that was a really good line, and it looked to me like he was in control on the offensive end. He's doing a lot more dishing. He's a really good passer for how big he is, man. He's a good playmaker for his size. I think he'd be an ideal trade target along with Jeremy Grant, who we've talked about in the past. But
right. I don't know. So that's an embarrassing loss. Giving up 52% from the field, as I
yes,
mentioned, is it's just not a team that you should lose to. But whatever,
yep.
it is what it is. We go to our next game. It's the Nets. It gets postponed.
Yep.
Blazers were at this point relatively healthy as far as COVID goes, and
Mm.
then and then it hit. And then it hit. So we go into the Mavs game. We lose Nurk. We lose Rocco. We
Mhm.
lose Smith Jr. already. Watford, they're gone. McLemore's gone. You lose Zeller. You lose Blevins. You lose your coach. You lose your assistant coach. I mean, it went on and on and on. So you come into a team that, in all fairness, has also been ravaged for the most part by COVID. They didn't have Luca, for
Mhm.
instance. I
No
didn't
Maxi
expect
Kleba.
yeah, I didn't expect to win this one, to be honest with you. This is kind of one that I was a little worried about, but I would hope it would be a little closer. Once I found out Dame was for sure going to play,
Yep. And it
you,
was
you
at
think
home.
that you'd be able to keep it a little closer and at home, right? But the home
Yes.
team that
Yes.
died off a while ago. We were 10-1, and then everything just
Yeah.
went to
And
bed.
look, okay, it's very apparent against this team. Size is an issue, right? They have obviously Kristaps Porzingis is huge. He's like 7'3". Then they have Dorian Finney-Smith, Dwight Powell. They played Ntilikina, who's kind of a bigger guard. Brandon Knight played 24 minutes,
Who?
which was kind of
Brandon Knight?
surprising.
That
Yeah,
guy's
Brandon
still
Knight.
around?
He was a COVID call up. He was like an
Yep.
emergency guy, a parachute guy. But the Blazers just didn't play well. And that's something that a lot of the pods have talked about this week, whatever pod you listen to for the Blazers, hopefully it's ours all the time.
All the
But
time.
Anthony Simons has 27 minutes. Again, he plays super meh, just passive. This is the Anthony Simons of years past. He just looks hesitant. He's not attacking. Larry Nance Jr. played okay. Snell didn't do anything for you. And I hate to be critical of this guy because we've defended him a lot this year. Norman Powell was just kind of meh.
Yeah, this is Powell. What, he had 15
He
in
shot
this one.
3 for 12, I think. 1 from 7 for 3.
Not pretty. And Anthony was relatively efficient, to be fair. I think he shot
Yeah,
50%, but he just didn't get enough shots up in a
he's
game like
not
this.
aggressive. Like he's not getting after it like he was early in the year.
No, he's not. He was attacking the rim more. I mean, he's always been a good shooter, but it seems like he's kind of, I don't know, maybe I don't know if his confidence isn't there. If he had a bad slump and maybe that slump got him in his head, I really don't know how to explain Anthony. We were talking him up. We were super stoked about what he was doing for you at the beginning of the
Yep.
year, and now he's especially at a time like this when CJ is hurt. This is your time to shine. You're going to get 30 plus minutes a game. I,
So
I'd
this is
like
the
to see
question.
15, 16 points
The
easy.
question that came up for me as I'm kind of watching the highlights of these two games and I'm going through the stats and I'm digging in is Anthony Simons untouchable at this point in a trade? And B, the other question is he's coming up on his rookie extension, which is very similar to like the Gary Trent. It's going to be a decent amount of money. He's a guard. So what role does he really have? What are you going to do with Anthony Simons? Are you going to try to pilfer him off real quick or are you going to try to play the restricted free agency game? I mean, what's your plan with Anthony Simons?
I think you got to look to include him in a trade package at this
Okay.
point. I don't think. I don't know. The thing about combo guards like him that are putting up the kind of numbers that he's putting up is they grow on trees. They're everywhere. I mean, you can go out and get Brandon Knight, for goodness sakes, just came off the bench not even the NBA bench, like a street bench, out there waiting for his bus. And then the Mavericks team bus pulled up, said, "Hey, you're Brandon Knight, right? You want to come play some basketball?" And he came in here and got 18 points. These guys are everywhere. You can get a guard who can shoot, a guard who can come in and score.
Okay.
At this point, Dennis Smith, I'd rather have out there than Anthony. I think he does a little more defensively. He's putting up similar scoring at this point with minute per minute. I don't know. Anthony's still young. He's very young. I'll give him that. But he's had opportunity after opportunity on this team to show that he deserves a second contract. He hasn't proven it to me. Now, I don't think he's as expensive as you say because, A, he's primarily been a bench player where at least Trent got starting time before the bubble, in the bubble, and then even some last year before we traded him. So he's had exposure to the league. Like, people have seen what he can do. The bubble was the big deal for him. And Anthony really hasn't had that. He's had some flashes. I think there's some potential that will draw interest in trades. But his age and the amount of money that you're going to be able to probably re-sign him for will be enticing for us. I'm fine keeping him if you don't include him in a trade package. I don't think he's going to cost much. I'm 7-8 mil maybe at this as a backup guard.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's going to be determining on what you do with CJ too. Like, if you're going to trade CJ away and get a forward back, you're probably still going to put Powell at the 2, ideally. And then you still need that backup guard because CJ's a lot of scoring where Powell's hit or miss. Obviously, we've seen that in the last couple of weeks. So Anthony can still blossom, and if you can get him at a cheap contract, you keep him around as some insurance policy at the guard position. But like I said, I think you can find Anthony Simons out there. I think there's so many of them that you can go out and get that can do just as good, if not better. I mean, look what Monty Morris is doing in Denver. I mean, these guys are out there. So I'd like to trade him. I think you can include him with the CJ package. I don't know about with CJ because it's too similar of a player going to one team, but you can include him maybe Nurk or Rocco and get something back for him, whereas CJ is a little more valuable by himself. So what you do with Anthony at this point. He hasn't proven to me that outside of some stints where he's had some big games and really at the beginning of the year that he deserves any kind of money with the Blazers, especially with contracts getting more expensive, and you lose it all guys.
The only reason I would say hold on to him is 2 reasons. Number one, if we're going to trade CJ, you still want guards that can shoot on the perimeter. You still want guys that can attack the basket. And we've seen this year that when he's locked in, Anthony can do that. The other thing is, I don't know what he would garner in a trade package. Like you just talked about, you said Gary Trent had this great showing in the bubble, right? He comes out, he balls out. He's just looking like he could be really good for a team, a potential starter. Anthony Simons hasn't showcased that or flashed that in more than like one game at a time. He's had, 20 plus a few times in a few back-to-back games, but it's like, I want to see him attack the basket. Defensively, he's not that great, whereas Gary Trent had showed flashes of being a two-way player. So I think I'd hold on to him just because I don't think he's going to garner you anything back unless, like you said, you're throwing him in with a Nurk or a Rocco as a young asset or a salary match. I just don't know. I don't think I would trade him because I would rather see CJ moved and then have his shooting as the backup first guard off the bench. But I'm with you, man. I mean, if you're telling me this team is going to be better off with Dennis Smith or Frank Ntilikina or some cheap backup guard that's going to do different stuff, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I just think you can get a lot of guards that can come in and give you 15 a night, from the backup position
that aren't
20, 25.
That aren't $8 million a year, whatever. I mean, like if he's going to command 7-8 million, no, thank you. You know what I mean? I'm just not into it.
And if he gets any more than that, he's not worth it. You don't want him. We can't afford him because you lose Nurk and Rocco. You lose potentially 2 starters that you got to replace, and Dame's contract is going to get bigger and bigger. So, yeah. But in the Mavs game, the other young star on our team, the other guy that I do agree with you, I think is untouchable in this year, literally looked great. 20 and 10, double-double.
He is legit. He might be the only silver lining of this whole season. He might be the only thing this season that you're like, okay, this is going really well. Dame's health starting to peak up, and if we can sustain that is obviously a good thing. But this whole year, if Nasir Little is a piece, man. He is a starting caliber. We should unleash him. We should give him a lot of minutes. I just want to see what he can do, and I hope he stays healthy. I hope everything goes his way. But, dude, that 20 and 10 was baller. He was hustling. He was making plays on the defensive end. I love Nasir Little. I really do.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree 100% with that. I think that he's the guy that you keep. And I love to see him get these runs and get these minutes right now. COVID is going to give him all the minutes that he can gobble up on his plate.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm loving to see that he's out here balling out right now. So that's awesome. And then we got to see a lot of young guys. I think it's kind of cool when you get to see G League guys come in.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's kind of fun to see these guys you're never ever going to talk about again, probably. But look at guys like Moses Brown. You know, they got called up, and look what they've been able to do and create NBA careers, albeit not amazing ones, but NBA careers because they got exposure because of injuries and things like that. So getting to see Cumberland and Williams and McGriff and these guys like come in here and play for the Blazers, it's interesting. You're never going to see these guys get another opportunity. This is their time to shine. It's kind of fun getting to watch them play. I mean, do you have anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how Moses Brown can't stick on a team. I mean, I know he's kind of slight, but he can get double doubles like crazy. Marquise Chris played some minutes for the Mavs, and I thought he looked okay. You know, a lot of these guys that aren't going to get it was really interesting. They said that there's been whatever it is, 541 players this season in the NBA, and that's a record. I think it's kind of cool. I mean, I know that fans paying money in season tickets, that's really lame to go to a game where there's no Luka and Dame is the only star in the game. But it's fun to watch these guys, and there's going to be players that tell their kids, I played in the NBA, that they would not have got the chance if it wasn't for COVID. So I think it's interesting.
Yeah, I think it's the same. I think it's really cool. And we're going to talk a little more about that as we get going into the second half.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have much else to add on the Mavs game. I mean, I expected to get blown out. Like you said, we talked earlier in the week, and when Nance is your only big, Porzingis and Powell are gonna have fun. They're gonna come out here and ball.
I text somebody and said this is gonna be one of those games that's over by the third quarter, and the main reason is Kristaps is just gonna dominate shooting over the top of Larry Nance. He was more wide open. I don't know if you watched the highlights, but there was lots of times where in the pick and roll, they left Porzingis completely open, and he was open underneath the basket. It was almost like, what are we doing here? This team is just not serious on the defensive end in any way, and it's kind of frustrating. Game in and game out, I don't know what the fix is for that, but then Scott Brooks after the game talks about like, well, we just didn't shoot well enough, and it's like, what are you talking about, dude? You gave up 114 points to Kristaps Porzingis and 34 points to him. Like, he hasn't been relevant in the NBA for 3 years. What are you talking about, dude?
Yeah, I don't hold much esteem in this game with COVID, and this is our first game without half these guys. At least Dallas has gotten to play a few and get some kind of a system and play with some of their role players.
True.
So, yeah,
True.
I like I said, that's why I don't want to talk too much about this particular game. I mean, people can see the highlights if they're curious. I was kind of cool to see some of the G League guys, get to see some Greg Brown action. He had 8 points, so that's
I like
fun.
Greg Brown.
Yeah, that's
He's
fun. And he's another guy that we're going to get to see play a little bit more, which is pretty cool. So I'm always in for the Greg Brown dunk show. But that's all I got to say on that. We got a lot to talk about in the second half. It'll be a relatively shorter pod, maybe. I don't know. We're going to have some more fun. We'll see where it goes. So I'm ready to split it up, and you know what that means. You know what time it is.
Oh, no. Really?
Oh, it's the time. Yeah, it's that time. You have the picture this time because last time you didn't have it, and everybody.
I do. I've got it. It's keyed up.
All right, good. So then it is the Blazing New Trails ex-Blazer of the week, Steve Blake. That's right, folks. Good old Steve Blake, who I believe still holds the record for most assists in a quarter, 14 against the Clippers. I watched that game. Yeah, he's a baller. He played, as you can see below, he's played with Blake 3 different times, 2005 through 6, 7 seasons, 10, 14, 15. He's just all over the place. He's always a Blazers legend, quite frankly. There during the Roy era, one of my favorite Blazers of all time. Just because the dude was just a gamer. He's a baller. Look, is that Dennis Schroeder for Atlanta? I love it in that picture.
Yeah, that's an old picture, man.
That's how you know it's an old picture. I don't even think he had the bleach in his hair at the time. Maybe he did. So yeah, Steve Blake is an assistant coach with Phoenix Suns. In case anybody's wondering, I picked this for two reasons. A, I'm in Arizona this week, so I figured why not take a guy that's in Phoenix. I have to watch his ugly mug on TV because I don't have the local Blazers channel here. And I was too lazy to get Game Pass or Blazer Pass or League Pass, whatever it is, for one game. Mm-hmm. And 2, because Steve Blake is only 42 years old, I think. And at this point, I'm ready to have him come play backup point guard for the Blazers.
Seriously.
COVID has been running rampant throughout the league, and guys that we thought were dinosaurs are just coming here getting 10-day hardship contracts like it's nothing.
Right.
So let's give him a call. Think he can take a break from Phoenix real quick, coaching. Come here, play some point guard for us, get 14 assists in a quarter, and come back and go compete for a championship again.
Yeah, Steve Blake, man. I got a few other old guys that I want to talk about that I think that the Blazers should call.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. So I mentioned that guys are getting contracts left and right. I mean, I've seen some names this week. Lance Stevenson, Joe Johnson's coming back and playing. It's like the whole league just became
Isaiah
the Brooklyn
Thomas.
Nets. Yeah, Isaiah Thomas. The whole league is the Brooklyn Nets now. They're pulling all these vets out and having to throw them on rosters. And Nets did it to try to win championships. Everybody else is doing it because they don't have any players. So Portland could use some of these guys. All right. They have no Zeller. They have no Nurk. They got no Rocco, no Macklemore. They got nobody. Like the whole roster's in shambles. CJ's still banged up. It's not pretty.
Mm-hmm.
So I know we talked about this. I want to start first before we get into some of the other names. I want to start first in the fashion and respect of Steve Blake. What former Blazers would you want back on this team on a 10-day hardship contract that is a realistic option? Let's put it that way. I don't want to go sitting here with Brandon Roy and all that, Rudy Fernandez, and all those fun names.
Yeah.
I want realistic options, but what are some fun names you could throw out here?
Jamal Crawford is obviously on my list, and I know that he's not a long-time Blazer, but it was a Blazer. I have Jamal Crawford, who I actually legitimately think could come in and get like 30 points. I don't think it'd be impossible.
They just talked to him. He came out yesterday, I think, and said he's basically on a short list of a lot of teams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was rumors that he was actually going to go to Brooklyn before COVID.
I think he will sign.
So he's definitely a name for a lot of teams. Probably he's like 45 years old. I don't know, 50.
Yeah.
I don't know how old he is. Dude doesn't age. He can come in right now and drop 50 points.
Yeah. Chris Kaman. I mean, I think Chris Kaman could come in. He's old. He's older for sure. Like he's older, but you're telling me as long as he could run the floor, I think he could probably back anybody down in the league. Like even Joel Embiid, I don't think he would struggle with.
Okay.
Steve Blake is on my list, and then Michael Beasley, who I think someone's actually going to sign within the next 48 hours because he was on our summer league team. I actually think the Blazers should have freaking signed him.
At this point, he probably would have been fine. I don't think he did enough in summer league to really.
He'd be like Melo 2.0, just jacking shots. The legacy.
Mm-hmm. No, that's fun. I got two for you.
Okay,
because we're in need of bigs. I'm going to start with Pau Gasol. I don't know how you can draw him back from Spain. I don't know what the situation is. I don't know what he's doing over there right now. But he never got a chance to play with the Blazers. He just sat around on the roster for a couple months and let him go. So I'd love to see. I think Pau could come back in and give you 10, 15 minutes a night, just passing the ball around and getting a couple points. Now here's my fun one, and this all Blazers fans deserve, and I'll give credit because Brandon Goldner also brought this name up multiple times. I saw it. I thought the same idea before I saw you tweet it. Just want to put that out there. But Greg Oden, the captain for the Aliens in the Big Three League.
Oh man,
that guy is still. We had him as one of our ex-players a few months back. He is still balling. He's out there playing basketball. I would love to see him redeem himself, come back and end his official NBA career with the Portland Trail and come back into the league and be done. I want to see the stats when I look at Greg Oden's historic stats.
2021.
I want to see the 2021-2022 Greg Oden on the Blazers roster.
Sure.
So full circle there. I think that Greg Oden come in. I would probably find a jersey. I think I have a bobblehead somewhere that I got for free. It was like $2 at Goodwill. I think I could put that up and really get back into the Greg Oden vibe. So I'm all for Greg Oden. So those are the two ex-Blazers that I had written down for guys that I would like to see. I mean, Steve Blake was on my list, but you already said it.
I think Iman Shumpert is going to get calls from teams.
J.R. Smith, if he's not already with somebody.
100%. I think he's going to get calls. This one's way older, but how would you feel if the Blazers were just like, we're going to sign Kevin Garnett for a 10-day contract? Like, don't you think Kevin Garnett would still be able to ball?
No, I do not think he could.
I think he could.
I don't think he could.
I think this team could use his edge. I think he would set a tone in the locker room that would make Anthony Simons very uncomfortable.
I think he would set a tone in the locker room that would make a lot of people uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's what this team needs. This team needs Kevin Garnett really bad. Like, or Rasheed Wallace.
No, I got a spark plug for you. All right, you want to really get somebody? I'm so sick and tired of Anthony Simons that I'm willing to move on to another guard. And I don't think there's a better guard out there that's available than Lynn Sanity. I'm ready to bring Jeremy Lin back into the league. Give him a shot at 10 days. I'd
Why
love to
not?
see him. Yeah, Lynn Sanity, dude. He was a sensation from China. Let's do it.
Okay, how about this one? How about Jimmer Fredette?
Oh, Jimmy Buckets is my next one. He beat me to it. Jimmy Buckets is on my list.
He would be the best, second best Blazers shooter of all time.
Yeah,
right
you
behind
know,
Dame. Sorry,
gosh,
CJ.
I'm gonna forget his name now, but Jimmy Buckets is like the NBA equivalent of what's his face, the Cleveland quarterback before Baker, the one that was really good.
God, Johnny Manziel.
Manziel, yeah, it just comes in like that. That's that guy. This is the top guy. This sucks. He was terrible. Jimmy Buckets.
That's funny.
I would like to try to get is Redick still available? Can we just get Redick to come in here and shoot some threes for us? JJ?
I guarantee you he would be an upgrade over what we have now. The other one is I don't know why. I just feel like Paul Pierce would be really good for the Blazers.
You're going old.
I told you. I'm not saying I'm going like big three. Like I literally think these guys would barely fit in the jersey, but it would just be one of those things where like they know exactly where to be. They know exactly what to do with their body to leverage guys. I just think it would make a lot of the younger players uncomfortable. Like you're talking about Malik Beasley, Kevin Garnett would eat him alive. Like it would be insane to watch these dudes like throw people to the ground.
Okay. All right.
Big three style.
This is a little bit more realistic, and I actually think this could happen. I'm surprised it hasn't. But let's go. Shout out to our good friend Cole. And when we were talking fantasy basketball for old Cole, he was super stoked about my boy Vince Carter.
Vince Carter.
I thought he still played probably for the Raptors because that's how much he follows basketball. But I'm ready to get Vince Carter. He's good friends with Dame. They've been on the pod. They had the show together for a while. So I'm all about Vince Carter coming back in.
Sure.
And then Aaron Baines, the dude who got like 100 points against the Blazers back when he played for Phoenix. I would love to see him come in and just do that for us, just shooting threes left and right, 10 threes in the power forward position. He's another guy that I could see getting a hardship contract.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I thought Jeremy Lin is a really good pull by you. That's a really good one.
Yeah, you gotta get. I'm surprised Lynn Sanity is not back in the league at this point with everything going on.
Right. By the way, have you seen the schedule that's coming up for the Blazers right now?
I haven't looked at it. I haven't put any thought into the upcoming schedule because it's going to be full of COVID, and I just
let's just play the hypothetical and say that like the Blazers come back strong. Look at this schedule real quick. We play the Jazz tomorrow, Lakers, Hawks, Heat, Cavs. Then we get a nice little Kings respite who've beat us twice this year, and then the Nuggets before we have some easier games. But I'm just saying, like, the next 7-ish games are brutal.
Yeah, and I haven't heard of COVID hitting too many of these teams either, to be honest with you.
Not really. I mean, the Lakers are kind of struggling right now.
Rudy Gobert is immunized, right? He was the first one. He was patient zero in the NBA.
He was,
when that news broke. So
yep.
LeBron's hit or miss right now, but he'll probably play. I mean, this is not good. The good news for Portland is CJ McCollum is on the mend. He is practicing. He's working on some conditioning. He is, I mean, as far as I know, 100% good to go from the lung. Like that part is fixed. Now it's just getting him back into game shape. So it's got to be. There's no timetable, but he's got to be soon. I would think. I mean, he'll probably get cleared to play and then get COVID because that's just how it's been at this point. So there's some good news there. You got to think that some of these other guys are going to start clearing. The NBA's changed up their policies a little bit, so guys are going to be able to come back a little faster, assuming that they test negative. I think it's only like 6 days now instead of 10. It's something like that. So it's a little bit faster. So good news there. I agree the schedule's a little rough. Schedule's not going to be fun.
Yeah, it's rough.
But yeah, I mean, the COVID thing has been interesting. I don't know, man. I don't know how it sprung up like this. I mean, these guys are supposed to be, for the most part, vaccinated, boosted, all that good stuff. And you can't really take so many safety precautions. I couldn't even, when I went to the game a couple of weeks ago, I couldn't even go up and try to ask Dame for an autograph when I was down there watching him shoot around. They're trying to limit fan interaction and all that stuff. So it's like they're taking it pretty seriously. So I hope that I hope this opens up some eyes. I hope that the league starts to really take into consideration what these guys are doing in their off time. Because it's a bummer. Like, I don't want to see the league get shut down. That's my biggest fear. Like, I don't want to
Yeah.
take away their freedom. I don't want the league to get shut down because it throws these guys off. I mean, we've already had to postpone a couple games. You don't want to see another bubble situation. You don't want to see these guys pushed and have to take a break and then come back late summer and then
Hmm.
try to force them to play again, start their season in December or what have you. It's rough on them. It's rough on their bodies. I would hope that we can avoid that. So I hope things start to chill out a little bit and guys take everything a little more seriously, which I'm
Yeah.
not saying I don't know what they're
I
doing,
think
but
it's the holidays. I just think they're all gathering with friends and family and stuff like that. They're going home to their actual homes. I think we'll be fine in like 3 weeks. The middle of January, things will calm down.
I hope so. And there's another
Yeah.
thing that I wanted to touch on. I
Yep.
think Leandra kind of, she put it out there. Dia was talking about this about going to games and not being able to see stars. And you mentioned with Luca
Yeah.
and obviously Dame ended up playing, but
Yeah.
you know, what is your take on that? I mean, what is your take on fans complaining about going to these games, paying money to go see certain players and not getting to see certain players?
Yeah, I mean, I don't for fans that are buying tickets like or getting tickets, it's great. I mean, tickets are really inexpensive right now, which is something we've complained about in the past
Sure.
is like, "Oh my gosh, I can't even afford to go to a game and sit in the 300s." So it's nice from that perspective. And also, I totally get where like I have kids and I would take my youngsters and put masks on them and then they would get see they don't care about who whatever is playing. Like they don't care if LeBron is playing, they just want to go see the atmosphere. But for a season ticket holder, let's say you spent I don't even know what the average season $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 depending on what level you're in. I do feel bad for them because they're having a hard time recouping their losses and they didn't know when they bought these, but that's sort of the way that goes. You know that risk going in that like Dame and CJ could both sprain their ankle and miss the game and you're watching not a great game. So and you knew that going into this season it was going to be a little weird and rocky and rough and that the NBA was going to deal with it as it comes. So I'm sympathetic to the cause, but I'm also trying to stay as positive as I can and just say like we got to get out there and support the Blazers. We have to go cheer them on because this team needs our energy as much as we can. So if you're in Portland and you can get tickets or be gifted tickets or giveaway tickets or whatever it may be, please do your best. But yeah, and it's cool I think it's cool for the G Leaguers. I'm with Dia on that. I mean, I totally understand that people want to watch the best players go at it every night, but that's just not realistic. And I like watching young guys get chances to shine, whether they do well or fail.
I agree. I think you always run a gamble. Like you said, a guy could get injured and not play. Multiple guys could get injured and not play.
Right.
I don't. I think you got to go and enjoy the sport for what it is, and especially since you're not overpaying right now. I mean, I get it if you put a
Yes.
bunch of money into the hundreds and you were really stoked to go see Dame and Luca, and you bought
Hmm.
your tickets a month and a half ago. You got a birthday. Somebody's like, "Yeah, man, the Mavs. You love Luca. They're going to be in
Yes.
town."
I totally
It's
get
a
that.
it's a bummer. I
Mhm.
mean, there's no ands ifs or what's about it, but I mean, I'd hope that people will continue to go to the games. I agree. I hope that be safe and all that good stuff, but I hope that they continue to go and support the team.
I hope so
There's
too.
no better time to do it. It's a weird year, yes, but you're getting to see potentially some guys for the last time. You don't
Yeah.
know what's going to happen with CJ. Like you got to try to go and support that. Nurk could very well be gone
Hmm.
in a couple weeks at this point.
Hmm.
So I hope that this COVID thing doesn't discourage people from going to games because they might not get to see some of their favorite players.
Yeah.
Go try to support the team as best as possible for sure.
Yes, please.
Um, really, I don't have a lot else for this
That's
episode,
it,
man.
man.
I really don't. I know I said that we are going to talk about our next giveaway. And I'm going to, but I'd rather show you guys what I'm going to end up getting. I can tell you that next episode for sure, I'll have it taken care of. I'm going to have it purchased, and we'll start doing a giveaway. This will be a Twitter giveaway. We'll have some more details upcoming. For now, you can see the subscribe button there. I want you to hit it,
Hmm.
select it, so you can be involved in the giveaways. And if I can turn my finger with the camera, ugh, there's a talk rip sign right there. That's what you want to follow us on the tweeters.
Do it.
I do Instagram too, but I just post this picture of us doing this and put the link in there. So if you want to get involved, then I'm not very social media ish, but we are engaging on Twitter and on
Hmm.
here. So we'd like you guys to try to keep supporting us. Next giveaway is coming up. Last time was a pair of tickets. This time it's going to be something a little warmer for for your headsy, maybe. No spoilers. Yeah, something like that. So we're looking forward to it. We appreciate everybody so far. Hopefully this COVID thing ends, but for now, enjoy seeing some of these other guys play. It's a
Yeah.
weird time, but we can ride it out. We can see potentially some stars in the making that you don't normally get to see.
Yep.
So that's all I got.
Yeah, everybody have a great week. Happy New Year, and let's keep trucking.
Keep trucking.
Peace. We out.